Andy, what time is it? It's 8 for you right now, or
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it's
That's
eight
crazy.
8 o'clock in the evening. Yeah.
Wow.
Every time Greg and I talk to somebody in a different time zone, we just say, "Whoa, that's crazy."
We
it's like we don't travel.
well, it's hard to like getting different time zones linked up. It's a little bit easier when it's like an hour difference, but I mean, you're
Yeah.
6 hours ahead of us right now.
Yeah.
So, it's been it took a couple of weeks to get this lined up. So,
Okay. Well, I've been
Yeah.
to work already, so yeah. I'm ending
You're
I'm
wrapping your
ending the
day up.
week. Yeah, yeah.
so that's it. So,
Yes.
weekend for you.
Weekend for me, yeah.
So, so Andy, you're a police officer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm always interested to see like how I feel like your policing is a lot different than here in America, and maybe it's not. But I feel like here, everyone just kind of gets to walk around with their guns, and I feel like it's a little bit different over there, right?
It's very different. Yeah. You can't do that here.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
Are you allowed in Sweden? Like, can you have guns, or like is that something that only like law enforcement,
Yeah,
military kind
basically.
of thing? Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can own a gun and you can have a license for a gun like you guys, but you have to be maybe like a part of a shooting, like going for a shooting range, you're a competition and all that kind of stuff, or you're in law enforcement, or you can be a hunter, of course,
So
and have a rifle.
it's got to be like your hobby. This is your thing. You're a gun
Yeah,
guy, and then you can
yeah,
have a gun in Sweden. Otherwise, like America, anybody could be a gun guy.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like
yeah. It's totally different here.
Eric and I could go to, I don't know if you have Cabela's over there, but it's like a hunting fishing store. Like we could go to Cabela's right now in Delaware, within an hour be out with 10 handguns if we wanted to, and in Delaware you're allowed to just open carry without
Yeah,
even having like a permit. Like you can
yeah,
Fortunately, people don't really do that. I don't notice people doing it, at least.
the people that do it are the ones that typically don't want to pay to have. You can conceal carry here in Delaware, but you have to pay. It's expensive. I mean, you have to take a class, you have to background check, all that stuff. And the people that don't want to pay that, the way around it is you just strap it to your hip and you get to just go out to McDonald's with it. Is that like weird to
yeah.
hear? Like, is that like a
Well, we know it, of course. I mean,
yeah,
it's like the Wild West, right? But it's like we don't have that here. It's very foreign. I mean, for
yeah.
Scandinavian to even consider that in a way. I mean, you don't see people with guns anywhere except cops, basically.
Do you know, like, do you feel like is the crime rate pretty low, or is it less like violent crimes, I guess?
No, I would say it's we're in a phase in Sweden right now with the crime rate being pretty high at the moment with gang members and gang wars and all that kind of stuff and the usual. But you don't see it with the common people. You don't see it in the streets. You have to be more under the radar to not be seen by the police. So it's not that open. I would say it's very in disguised.
Do you have something that we just got away from here in Delaware, maybe within what, Eric, the last 10 years is what, capital punishment, the death penalty? Is that something that's even offered
No,
over there, or is that
no,
not
no, no.
yeah,
That is not. No, I mean we have. I mean, a life sentence in Sweden usually are about 18 years. Then but it depends what kind of. I
yeah,
mean, there you could be in a state where you're not going to be released at all for life.
yeah, sure,
Depends on. But we have like a very. I mean, it's not really my field because I don't work with that kind of stuff. But
right.
we try to rehabilitate people back to society. That's just the main goal that we have here, and get them back to being a
It's like
function.
What's that called? Recidivism? The
Recidivism is what the return rate to
people that
like
can leave prison and then go on and lead a successful life, be
versus
not criminals anymore.
Going back in. I feel like that's it's nice to hear because I feel like, and I'm definitely not in the legal field, but here in America, it's definitely like you'll just get thrown in a cell and it's like, all right, like that's where you will. And like some crimes are so heinous that sure, but it's
what was that HBO short series? Was it The Night of, where he like gets put in, like he's like put in this sticky situation? I don't even want to say that he didn't do anything wrong, but it looks like he did.
He like wakes up, he like has like a one night stand and then wakes up and the person that he hooked up with was he wakes up and she's dead and like stabbed, or I think she was stabbed.
But then like most of this series was him, like he's in prison. He's like not a criminal. He's not used to this stuff, but he gets turned into a hardened criminal just from spending time in prison, or otherwise he probably would have just died. That's what I think about that. Like, I mean, it's probably true for American prisons that they just breed like a certain type of person.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't want to end up in prison, right? Like that's just
a good goal.
Not a goal, right? But I worked with like youth.
He used to work at prison.
I did. I
told him he would go to jail every day,
and it was it's tough to see. I couldn't imagine being on the like arresting side of it, but well, you know what? Let's talk about positive stuff. So we got linked up through Mare in a way. Mare Mulroney. She came on and she was when I gave her the wrong link to sign in. And so we were sitting here for like 10 minutes and we're like, I wonder if she's, so we go to this other video link and she's like playing with a lightsaber, but she has your artwork up in the background. So you're obviously a police officer, but you also are an artist. Like you do illustration. Yeah. So has that been your whole life? I mean, have you been doing that forever?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I've been painting since whenever I can remember back, always been, something I love to do. And when I was younger, before I, joined the police academy, that's like 18 years ago, I did that. And before that, I was working as an illustrator, graphic designer, and it was always something I wanted to do. But, life goes on and you want to try different things. And that's how I joined the police. But, doing art has always been like a way of just expressing myself, or I just have the urge to create, So it's just been something I've been doing for forever.
Yeah, I hear the old starving artist thing makes it hard to have a career out of it.
Yeah. And find something that you really enjoy to do, because if you work at, let's say you work at a company and I did that for a while, it can be also very stressful because you're doing a lot of, stuff for different things, but you never have the time to do what you really want to do. If you know what I mean, you want to do your own, creation sometimes, and you don't get
creating. You're creating for somebody others. Else, not your own,
vision or whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I'm looking behind you, and are you in? Is this like your studio? Is this your?
Yeah, it's a part of where I used to paint and draw.
Okay, all right. So and you have, I see the Cobra Kai. I believe right behind you, I see Harrison Ford's face sticking out. So how do you? Like, are these used in actual, like, how are these, do you create these for fun? Like, how are these illustrations kind of tied into, like, do you work with, these different companies for these specific things, or?
Well, it depends. I mean, I've been working for different clients, all my life, here and there. When it came to the posters, let's say for Star Wars, the Sands of Fate movie that Mare was a part of, that was something I just saw online, and I just saw that they were going to have this premiere for the movie, and looked at the poster and was like, they had this poster where it's more like a photo. I was like, well, maybe I can reach out and see if they want an illustrator to do it, but to get that old classical, Star Wars 80s
Mm,
kind of look.
yes.
Um, so I did that and got in contact with those guys, and they were, super friendly, easy to talk with. I had 5 days to do that poster, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So that's
Yeah,
usually how it starts.
they put together a lot of great things, so much to the point where I consider myself to be a big Star Wars fan. I said, "Wait a minute. This whole thing, did I miss a TV show, or was there like something like for legit that I missed?" Certainly the poster, everything wrapped into it, but yeah, they got it going on. I think they've done a couple of those films too. That same
Yeah,
team did a
yeah, they
second
did
one.
like another one called Birth of a Monster, a Star Wars story as
Mhm.
well. I think I did a poster of that too somewhere here, and yeah, but it's that was just like me trying to reach out, and that's usually how it's been with some of this stuff that I've been doing. Same thing with Cobra Kai. Reached out to the people behind that TV show, and got in contact with some of the actors, and just did my fan thing, and just see where it goes.
So Cobra Kai, like, was that used in like official marketing for them, or how was that used?
That was not no. I did that just it was me and my wife was watching the show, and I
Yeah, yeah.
really liked the show, and she said like, "Why why don't you just make a Cobra Kai poster and post it online and see where it goes?" So I did that, and some of the producers noticed this, and thumbs ups and all that kind of stuff, and then I got in contact with his name is Sean Kanan. He's one of the actors in. I think he played Mike Barnes in the old Karate Kid
Okay.
series. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Mhm.
the villain in Karate Kid
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
super friendly guy. So he took it and promoted it, and it just got its own life in a way after that. So that's just but it wasn't used in any kind of promo for Netflix.
That world, it blows my mind. I mean, I watched Karate Kid. I think I just watched Karate Kid 1 when I was a kid, right? And then it fades out of my memory forever. Here I am, however many years ago that the first season of Cobra Kai came out, and I said, "Cobra Kai, that sounds familiar." And then I've got friends that are just all about it. They're ready for actually, I think my one friend, he binged the most recent season that just came out. I started watching it. I don't know how it's good. Like it's like an old feud between what karate dojos from when they were like how old,
Yeah.
13, 14 years old or something like that. The story doesn't sound like it should carry on this far, but it does. It's good.
It works, yeah. I was surprised too when I saw it. It's like the same thing for me. I hadn't seen those movies since like I was a kid, basically. I loved those movies back in the day, but it was a long time since I saw it. Then we saw the show, and yeah, it worked. I really enjoyed it.
I can't get over the fact that Ralph Macchio is in his 60s. Like that
Yeah.
blows my mind. I don't know why but that yeah. I am curious though. So when you do like illustrations or anything that involves using like the IP of, of something Disney related
Yeah.
or Netflix or whatever, is there like a fine line, or like do you ever have to worry about, is it like a legality issue ever behind it? Like,
Yeah, I think if you would go and sell it and make money,
yeah,
I think that's really where is a no go. I mean, if you don't have the permission to do that, for me, it's always about trying to promote what I can do. Because being within the police force for so many years, there were years that I didn't draw or paint anything. It was basically just one day, maybe pick it up again and see where it goes, and that's been the roadmap at the moment. And it's like with Star Wars and that those guys I contact. I mean, they are involved with. I think they were involved with Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi and all those shows. So they're working, with the real deal. So when I saw it, it's like you guys were saying. First, I was like, did I miss something? Was it something that Disney made? And then I realized it was a fan film, but a really good one with people, working with a real series that were behind those or that film. So yeah,
it
that's yeah. Sorry.
It's funny that you say that. So Mare said that when they like were at the premiere, her buddy, I think, she said works for Disney and was like, is this ours? Because if not, how
Yeah.
did you get away with doing this?
Yeah,
Because it's so
correct.
good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that is fascinating though, because I've heard, I mean, Disney is worth, a bazillion dollars. So I feel like I've seen them go after, like, I think it was on TikTok, and someone had a car that looked like Lightning McQueen from Cars.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
but I think, to your point, yeah, he was monetizing that. And yeah, as soon as you start making money, they'll
They say, wait a
They'll let
minute,
you
that's
know.
hold
our
on.
money.
yeah.
So
Exactly. Exactly.
if you're not selling it, it's cool though. Like, no one.
I haven't heard. No, I haven't
Yeah,
heard. It's fan art, and
sure.
it's also a way for, I think, many artists to show what they can do as a portfolio kind of thing, and that's what I'm doing, And also, if you like Cobra Kai, to see some of the actors, enjoying what you're doing, and that's that's just great. That's just fun.
Yeah, people
So
love flattery. Oh, someone painted me. That's
yeah,
like
exactly.
top, right?
Yeah, yeah. And since I love movies so much, I mean, it's always been a passion of mine. So it's I like to just paint those motifs in a way. I
Is that
love those
the
old posters.
yeah, me too. Is that the Indiana Jones motive as well? Like, just big fan of Indiana Jones?
Yeah, I love Indiana Jones. I love old. I grew up in the '80s, so many of those old movies is just something about them that I really probably because I saw when I was a kid.
It's
So it's Star
the
Wars. Yeah,
nostalgia, yes.
yeah. Back to
I
the
just
Future.
very, very recently watched again Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I remember it being like definitely at the bottom of my list of the Indiana Jones movies, but I forgot how. I mean, Indiana Jones movies are pretty ridiculous, right? Like, they've got
Sure.
things
I mean,
like
Yeah.
yes,
the Ark
right.
of the Covenant melts everyone's face off, and
Yeah,
what is it? What
yeah,
does he yell? Kali Ma, and they
Just
rip
rips.
their heart out, and it still beats. Like, it's so over the top dumb. But I
yeah.
remember when what was the fourth one? Crystal Skull, like
With
that.
Shia LaBeouf.
The long time went on, and people were like, "That's it. I can't stand Indiana Jones has lost it. Aliens," and I was like, "Yo, Aliens isn't that much weirder than all the other stuff that they've already done." I
No,
had big beef with
no.
that.
Yeah,
I'm,
totally
I'm
agree.
so I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid, but so all did you painted all of those? Like,
Yeah.
are those all? That just they look so lifelike. I'm just in awe. That's
Oh,
why I'm
thanks.
kind of quiet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I get it.
Don't stop. Keep going. I have something to show. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know a whole lot about like the art and illustration world. So that's why I was kind of curious to see if it's like something that's digital or you literally just paint on a canvas.
Depends. It
Yeah.
depends. I mean, usually I just paint on a paper or a canvas, like
Yeah.
you said. But sometimes if you want to change something, or if you're doing like a poster, especially if you're doing something for a client, and they want to change something here or there, or the colors are not really right, and they want to just add something. Oh, that's cool.
Sorry.
Wait,
This is ask me if I painted this or my 9-year-old son painted this.
No,
Wait,
it looks good, man. Darth
So it was
Vader.
we're talking about Star Wars paintings. I was like, wait a minute. It was right outside the door right here. So I should probably put this stuff around my empty barren
you
walls
have
that I have
to
behind me.
decorate your.
I know, my man cave.
Andy, I'm gonna have to
studio.
hire you to get some artwork back here.
We'll fix that.
Because
Sure.
I have this
Right.
empty wall of stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry to
No.
go.
No worries.
So can someone just hire you to say, hey, like, I love Pan's Labyrinth. Can you kind of, but I also kind of want it to look like this. Like, is that?
Probably, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always collaborate about,
Yeah.
if you want to do something like that. But it's if I would do a poster for a client, I would prefer probably to do it digitally, because it's
Sure.
so much better, because you can change stuff around, and if they want to add elements to the poster, or want to take something away. That's so much easier if you, I mean, if you paint with real paint, you know, just work to get that, you know, change that is you know, that's such a headache. So I think most artists today that work with that kind of stuff that are very more like, you know, I mean, I think it's different from if you paint a painting, just one painting. You're expressing yourself as an artist, or you have something that just you want to put on canvas. You know that you're not probably not going to change it too many times, and you're living in your own world, your own zone. You're doing your own thing. But if you're doing something like for a client, and you have to understand that they are paying you for it, and they have the right to say what they want, and you as an artist are always trying to give, you know, try to get them that motif that they are asking for. So if I would probably say go digital if you're going with that kind of, you know.
Now, I do have to ask because we're living in the age of Chat GPT and kind of AI. So, has that? Do you ever use that? Is that more of a tool, a hindrance? Like, do you see more competition with? Because AI stuff is extremely wonky. 9 times out of 10, you end up with a dude with 18 fingers.
Yeah, they can't
3
get
arms.
hands right.
Yeah, hands and toes. You know.
Yeah.
So, is that something that's ever been like?
No,
If
I
you've
never
ever
used
used or
it.
yeah.
No, never used it. It's nothing. Of course, I can see the development going, you know, and we'll see what we have in, you know, in a couple of years if they fix those fingers, so to speak. But still, it's no, I wouldn't say that I'm using AI for art. That would be, you know, that would take away most of the, you know, the artist, you know, the soul of the picture in a way, I think.
I think yeah, I mean AI is a really cool tool. Like I use AI if I'm making an Instagram post and like I'll take what I think the description should be and I'll say, "Hey, clean this up," you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like if I just say, "Hey, give me an Instagram post with this," it makes it less genuine and it kind of caters it to what they think you want it to be
Mhm.
versus like what you actually
Y-
want it to be.
You know what I've heard? All right. So, like, my parents are not great at telling when someone's trying to spam them, right? Or they're trying to scam them out of money, like send them an email. They're like, oh, this looks real. Or my bank account, like, my bank sent me an email that said, oh, I've been hacked. They can't tell that that's not real, right? But we can tell that pretty easily, I think, right? And you say, oh, that's not real. That's like coming from the wrong address. Look, mom, it's this right here. I've heard that AI generated things is that next thing. So like when we get even older and AI is like really good, we won't be able to tell. We will be like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, look at that." Like it could be a painting or it could be text in a Instagram post. And we'll be like, "Wow, what prophetic words." And our kids will just be like, "No, dad, that was AI generated." Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
We'll
I
see what happens.
I heard was it Coca-Cola or someone did a full like strictly AI video and everyone got super pissed. I don't know if it's because they didn't say it was AI or I mean you can kind of or I guess if it looked animated you I guess couldn't tell in theory, but then it came out that it was AI. And you know it's funny that we're talking about that. So we had a children's band, the Pop-Ups, come on about a month ago, and they were saying how they had a Spotify channel and a bunch of the music on there, it was like AI generated and it wasn't like real. They weren't real songs, but it was used as a way for like an artist to kind of boast their
Hmm.
I guess their presence.
I
Which is
think Spotify's use of that, I believe, was they don't have to pay as many royalties per song if it's
right.
not technically that song, or it was something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't know. Like AI is I use AI because I cannot draw at all.
Me neither.
I suck
Clearly.
at graphic design. Actually, Eric, that wasn't bad. I mean, for what it was, we knew it was Darth Vader as soon as we looked at
There
it.
you go. Hey,
So,
I'll say that was one of those like painting with a twist things, you know.
do you have that where it's like what is it? You drink
drink a bottle of wine while you put paintbrush on canvas.
No,
Yeah.
no, not really.
and it makes it so it's like a legitimate business over here, and like there's what 20 of you, and you have an instructor that kind of teaches you how to paint
and they help
something.
you along, and they say, no, you're going to need to blend this color a little bit more. That's been my exposure. I did two things. I did that, and then I did it was an abstract portrait of my wife, and it's not good. I'm not showing that at all. Abstract was so weird that I couldn't it didn't make sense. I don't have that part of that part of my brain doesn't make sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like abstract though is like I don't dig abstract. I don't get it. So maybe I'm the same way. Like I would much rather look at your Cobra Kai work, versus a banana taped to a wall with a bunch of blocks around it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're totally. Yeah.
And it's like one of those things, but it's like if you tell that to like an abstract art person, they'll look at you like you have 13 heads. And they'll tell you to go fuck yourself, essentially, because it's like...
Yeah, well, it's like the art is art, and I think people look at it in different ways. But there are different. I can totally relate what you're saying with a banana, taped on the wall. But there are great painters, I think, that doing abstract things, and there are so many. I mean, art is still. It can be so different, and that's what I really enjoy about it. I mean, I can look at some paintings and be really inspired, even though it's not really my cup of tea or my way of painting, but I can still see the beauty that's some of them.
It's interesting too, because like you listen to a song and like sometimes like if I hear a certain song, like it just gives me goosebumps, it's just like it just gets you right in the feels. You watch a movie, same way. But like I feel like art's also the same way. I know my father-in-law, he always talks about this this painting that he saw like at a flea market, and it was like a monkey, like a circus monkey sitting on a bass drum smoking a cigarette. And for whatever reason, he's like, that painting, I wish I bought it. It was just, I don't know what it was about that.
Spoke to him.
But it spoke to me. I feel like I've never been touched like that in my life. I want to get there, but yeah, it's definitely something that speaks to people. And I know people that buy art, like they spend a shit ton.
What's that scene from Ferris Bueller where the other guy, the guy whose car, it's his dad's car. What's that guy? I forget the character's name, but they go,
his best friend.
His best friend. And they go to the art studio, and he's looking at the picture, and he like zooms in, and it zooms in, and it keeps zooming into the picture, and he's having like this, and you see like it's like the art was done like speckled style, or like you could see like the face of the kid he was looking at in the picture, but then he's like going through this whole thing in his head. I've also never had that. I assume that's what your father-in-law went through, Greg.
Yeah, where it's just like you just stand there for 10 minutes, except the monkey, smoking a cigarette. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I want to get there. I do, but I also don't want to spend. I do, Andy, I don't know if you've ever seen this guy, where he'll like take a picture and he'll draw it, and then like he like breaks he'll like break the glass or like burn the image or like saw the picture.
I've seen those.
I was like, this is incredible. I want to buy one. And I went on, and like his shit sells out like that, but it was also like it was like multiple thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't have that kind of money then, so never mind. I take that back. But like it's incredible what people can do. I do have to ask, I mean, so have you ever does the artwork ever translate to like wanting to be a tattoo artist, or wanting
it crossed
to...
my mind when I was younger. Yeah. It's it depends what you want to do. I mean, when I started off as an illustrator back, I was actually working at IKEA, believe it or not, but Sweden, right? So I was working with assembly instructions illustrator, and that's where and it was so. But it was good because I got to learn really, perspectives and all that kind of stuff. It's very technical. You've seen that little guy, when you open, that's me. I did that.
Hey,
I was wearing, So that's my contribution to the world. Yeah.
Hey, you know
Awesome.
They-
what? I love that dude, and so you get the like the Flurbendergen, like because I never know what any of the
right.
stuff is called, and it always has like they're and but the instructions with that little dude showing you how to put it together, it
Yeah.
just makes sense. It just
Well,
works.
we were two guys doing that. I remember it was back in 2001. I think we did that, and
Yeah,
it's yeah. I did a communication for in the cartoons. I did more like a cartoon in the beginning, so I still
yeah.
have that old hand drawn cartoon somewhere. And this other guy also was working with me to just finish that off. We never knew that was going to be something that's going to be in there forever.
Man, it's
But
huge. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
it's like
That's awesome,
yeah,
actually.
I still see it when I buy
Oh
something
yeah.
at IKEA. Yeah,
Let me ask you though. So, people love IKEA. The closest one is in what, Baltimore? Maybe there's one in Philly.
Closest one to
So
us, yeah.
so yeah, we're in
where
we're
we
in
are.
Delaware, so
Mhm.
we're on the East Coast. But everyone loves the Swedish meatballs.
yeah,
So
that's
are they
good.
just are they just meatballs for you? Like do they
Yeah,
leave out the
basically. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like, but whenever I go abroad, especially if I go to the US or something, it's like if I stay there for more than 3 weeks, I still, want those meatballs,
You have an
But
urge to hit
it's
the IKEA.
right, right. But it's so hard to get that real Swedish meatballs outside of Sweden. I'm sorry to say that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so
like
like
almost
are they just
impossible.
are they just better? Like I mean, I do love me a good IKEA Swedish meatball, but
I don't know
so
what it is. I really don't know. I can't say what it is,
yeah,
but it doesn't taste the same, really.
yeah,
Mm.
Maybe it's the meat, it's where it comes from, whatever. I don't know.
sure.
But or it's just placebo. Who knows? But it's, you know,
Yeah, that's
You know what? We have that for cheesesteaks, Greg. We're really close to Philadelphia, so the Philly cheesesteak. If we went to, it doesn't matter where else we go. If you go 500 miles that way
yeah,
and we get a cheesesteak, it could be delicious, but we'll go, it's not the same. It's not the right
yeah,
bread.
yeah,
Something
it's
like
always
that.
the
right.
bread. That's what everyone always says. It's
It is
the
what people
bread.
say.
The bread is just we have Amorosos, like they're I think they're even based out of New Jersey, right? But like that bread with the Philadelphia meat covered in, I saw someone and they like covered their cheesesteak in peppers. And apparently that was fucking blasphemy. I don't care that much. Like I don't like cheesesteaks that much to care.
Yeah,
But like that's our thing that people complain
I'll
about.
tell you what, if you want to fire people up about food definitions, there's this subreddit called Grilled Cheese, and people post pictures of their grilled cheese. That's what it's for. As soon as somebody puts anything other than bread, cheese, and then like, butter or something to make that sandwich, it's like, would you say blasphemy? They go off and they say, that's a melt. Get that off of this subreddit. And they like start banning people for putting melts on the grilled cheese subreddit. Very stringent about their grilled cheeses.
But also like here in America, we're super unhealthy. I feel like you over there, you have a lot like better eating habits than we do over here. Maybe. I mean, I'll tell you, Eric and I yesterday or 2 days ago, uh, just like punished our bodies at the Chinese buffet,
Okay.
and
yeah.
like,
Well, we do
Hey,
that too in Sweden. Yeah,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Good to know.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on. All right.
Greg, I got to tell you, I didn't eat anything else that day. That was it. That was it for me.
And so then I guess that makes it okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like I'm curious, like we have McDonald's and Burger Kings at like every corner, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that true for you too? Like you
Well, depends. I mean, pretty much, yeah. If you're in
yeah,
a bigger city, yeah. But I don't think Swedes mostly like to have home cooked if they can, and
yeah.
I think they're very concerned about what they eat in a pretty big way, and it's always been like that. I think and I think food here is I mean, people eat junk food, you know, here as well, of course. But it's just maybe it's a culture thing. I don't know, but it's I think it's starting to be more like, to see the younger people are more into fast food than probably my parents were, because it wasn't, I mean, the availability wasn't that big back then like it is now. I mean, it's starting to be more like the US, maybe, in Scandinavia.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just that convenience aspect
Yeah.
and being able to like, all right, well, I have to take my kids to, soccer practice and dance and swim. I don't have time to come home and then cook for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So then we go to McDonald's. But now the kicker is you go to McDonald's now and it's $45 for four of you, $50 to go eat there.
Expensive.
So then it's like, well, so then you want to cook, but then like grocery stores are also super expensive now. So it's just like this
Same here.
vicious circle,
Everything is
right?
everything is so expensive, but I think here it's more like it's a little bit more frowned upon, perhaps, if you go to McDonald's more than once in a week. I think here.
That's good. We could
That-
use a little bit more of that
We
frowning.
need that here. Yeah.
It's like, take it easy, buddy.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I definitely we went to Chick-fil-A for lunch yesterday, and then for dinner we had Taco Bell.
Yeah,
So-
yesterday was take your kids to work day.
Yeah.
Yesterday, so we got to do that, and it was something. It was definitely something. It was chaotic, a little hectic. Didn't get that much work done, honestly.
No.
But then afterwards, the kids all voted, and they said, "Yeah, Chick-fil-A."
But you don't have Chick-fil-A, right?
Maybe. I'm not sure really what it is, because if we would translate it to Swedish, but it's
You're not missing
probably.
much.
You probably, yeah, you will probably have it somewhere. You can get it, but it's like it's I think people are more like into here. It's a lot of It's like you have like for you, my view of the America, because I love America, right? Whenever I go there, it's like I could live there. I love the people. I love everything about it, and they're so like positive, and I feel like Europe in a way can be more conservative in a way when it comes to many things, and it's for both good and bad. But it's here, the culture here is a bit different, I would say. And when you also, when it comes to, like I said, with food and exercise and all that kind of stuff, it's really, it's for many people, it's very important to eat right, and the whole balance, and
We the FDA just like, I think they're doing a ban on certain like dyes that are able to
Oh yeah, we like to put
into
a whole bunch of stuff
a
in our
bunch of
food.
give me red number 40 and blue 22, and we don't know what it is, but they're starting to kind of crack down on that. And I know years ago Michelle Obama was trying to do it and there was a lot of pushback. But now they're actually moving forward with it. And especially in like the school lunches, they're trying to kind of, make.
Well, Greg,
make
we want our Fruit Loops to be colorful. Actually, my kids had Fruit Loops this morning, and it's like, what is it? 6 different colors of just ringed cereal.
But also, Fruit
Yeah.
Loops are fucking delicious.
They are really
So-
good, and they would still be just as good, because I'm pretty sure that Fruit Loops, they're each one, no matter the color
taste
of
the
the Fruit
same.
Loop, it's the same. It's just, hey, these ones all got hit with this blue food dye, and these ones
Yeah.
all get hit with yellow food dye. They would all still taste the same, but they wouldn't sell as well. So I'm pretty sure that the pushback is from the food manufacturers that say, you're going to make my Fruit Loops into Cheerios, is basically what it would be.
Well, yeah, because, okay, what is a kid more likely to eat? They're more likely to eat, the colorful rings versus Cheerios. And don't get me wrong, dude, you throw some strawberries and some like honey nut Cheerios, delicious. But Fruit Loops are also delicious and they're more fun. It's like Lucky Charms, right? Look at all the
Yeah.
colors.
They're like the fast food. They're like the fast food
Yeah.
of cereals,
Yeah.
breakfast cereals.
And we do have a problem with that, and I'm guilty of it too. Like my daughter loves Fruity Pebbles and Lucky Charms, as do I, and I buy them.
Andy, I think you hit it. It's a culture thing. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's,
Who
we're
knows?
like, hey, this is super normal. Like, we're just going to buy the kids all the sugary cereals. Yeah, I wish that we were more like you guys in that, right?
Well, it depends. I mean, it just feels like you have more to choose from in a way. I remember first time I went to the US, and I saw the cereals, that shelf of just, going on and on and on. And it's like, holy shit. And it's like, we don't have it here like that. I mean, we have like, maybe if you guys have 100 versions, we have maybe 25, you know, but we don't, I think Europe in a way would have more restrictions maybe when it comes to different things when it's, so yeah, this just the way culture, right? So
I'm a big fan of I shop at Aldi now mainly, and I like that they have very limited selections. They have our brand, and then we have like the Kellogg's, but it's like $7. It's significantly more expensive than their brand. So it also makes it so I don't have to think as much, and I can just buy. Maybe that's how they make a lot of their money. But yeah, you go to Walmart here, and you have all the cereal, and then you can go to the organic aisle, and then they
yeah,
have another 100 boxes of cereal that all cost, $10-15 a box. The big one is Magic Spoon, and it's there. I think it's like $10-11 a box, and the boxes are real small, but people, they buy that shit up too, so I don't know. Variety's nice, but sometimes I would like
yeah.
less,
I would
you know.
prefer, like you have it in the US. For me,
Yeah,
I
sure.
like it when, but
Trade,
I
right?
can still see, yeah, but I can still see the value of not having all those choices, because maybe that's in a way more healthier, you know. Who knows?
I do like being able to pick, my chips. I can get this brand or this brand. Like Eric is a big Utz potato chip
Mm,
fan.
mm.
I'm a big Hers guy, right? But we are able to do that. We're not forced to get the other one. But I still hate grocery shopping just on the sheer principle of the cost. Like it drives me crazy every week going in and I don't
Same
know.
I
here.
feel like I feel like I lost the skill of grocery shopping. Like I used to do it for myself, and then I got married and my wife does all the grocery shopping. She has okay. I offer to go, but anytime I go, she's like, "Oh yeah, get me my yogurt." Oh, and it's this one specific kind of yogurt. It's the baby blue label with the low sugar, and I one time didn't buy the right one. She said, "That's it. You're never going to the store again. You can't be trusted." So she'll always just go. And I have to go every once in a while for things myself, and they don't do plastic bags in the stores anymore. So you have to bring your own bags. And I always forget my bags. So here I am pushing my whole cart out and just loading all this stuff into my car just raw, like no bags. I hate it. I can't do it.
But too, like, I think that also the pandemic really changed how I mean, because we're what, over 5 years out now from the start,
Yeah.
with everything kind of shutting down. And I remember I was Instacarting or Door Dashing groceries every week, and it just made my life so much easier. But at that time too, everything was so cheap, and we were getting um
We
well,
were
I don't
getting
know if you
stimulus
guys got
checks.
hooked up with stimuluses over there, but we called it Joe Dough, for Joe
Mhm.
Biden or Joe Bucks,
Okay.
Biden Bucks, because we were
Yeah.
getting these stimulus checks every other month or whatever. So I guess I didn't really think about it. And then all that kind of dried up and went away. And then the cost of everything went up, and I have to go now buy everything myself. So yeah, it's a lot of anxiety, man. I guess
Yeah,
that's
it is,
first
but
world problems.
yeah, but it's still it's exactly the same here, and we had I mean, during the pandemic, it was we had the Ukraine war as well in Europe, with Russia, and inflation, all that stuff, and it really, going to the supermarket now is it's like you said, it's ridiculous. It's so expensive.
Have you been impacted? And I'm not sure by like any of these tariffs going on. Has that caused any pricing changes for you?
I can't speak for everybody here, but it's not
Yeah,
for me. No, I
yeah.
haven't seen everything. No, can't say.
I I haven't made any big purchases. I mean, we live in America, but I'm like I heard like car prices went up, and like the
Probably.
cost of Xboxes, you know, and PlayStations could go up.
The
I
things
don't
that
know.
really affect us. Nintendo, they were dropping the Switch 2 pre-orders, and they delayed them. I think they've since like restarted them, but they delayed them, I think, entirely because they weren't sure how they were going to handle bringing products into America.
And I think they said that they'll keep like the console at a certain price, but they can't guarantee what they're going to have to charge for the controllers and like the accessories to actually use the damn thing. Before it was always like, hey, this is going to be $49.99, this will be $50 or whatever. But now, who knows? So you buy this console, but you might not be able to get the stuff to play with it. And then I saw that the game prices are going to be like $80, which is wild.
Yeah.
It's wild to me.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Andy, you got anything that you're working on right now, or if you're allowed to tell us that, or
Like arch-wise, or
yeah.
I mean, I'm doing actually another poster because I've been, the Sean Kanan at Cobra Kai is. I've been in contact with him, so I'm actually doing a Karate Kid 3 poster now as a tribute poster. So I mean, maybe I can show you something.
Oh yeah,
if you guys want to see it.
Definitely.
Not done yet though, but
that's okay.
This is all digital. It's I'm using a iPad and Procreate to draw. So let's see here if we can get something so you guys can see it.
Did you say you use Procreate? Is that
Procreate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see some of it?
Oh yeah.
So it's
Wow.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bonsai tree. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's yeah. So that's what I'm working on now.
How long does something like that take you to do?
This one, I've spent probably 50 hours on it.
Wow.
Now
it's a lot of time.
It's but it's also, little by little. When I did the Sense of Fate, like I did Birth of the Monster, like with those Star Wars guys.
Mm-hmm.
I did this one as well, which is another Birth of a Monster.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this was about 40 hours of work. About to draw. So
now, is it something where like when you're doing it, you have to, all right, I did 4 hours today. Like you have to step away so you don't go crazy, or could you just sit there and just go?
I could sit there forever. Yeah. It's like I just find my zone and I just go with it. I usually just have a podcast or music on.
Yeah.
And usually in the evenings, my son is asleep, my wife are doing something else, and I'm just in my own little, after work, especially if you have a lot of things on your mind, It's like everybody goes for whatever they do, to go to gym or maybe play golf or whatever they do. I just love to, spend some time just drawing, painting, and be in that zone. So I can do that for hours, basically.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'll do. Like I'll come home after a stressful day, and like Eric and I will typically game at night, But before we do that, I'll just sit in my office chair and just put my headphones on and play my guitar for 30 minutes. Yeah. And I won't even play like songs. I'll just play my guitar and like and I feel like same thing. Like I could do that for forever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like if I could sit there and stare while I'm get those hand cramps. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's like, find what you love to do. That's just, I think everybody has their own, hobby, whatever.
If you're I don't know how this would work for you. It sounds like a very personal act, like when you're doing this, like when you're painting or when you're making anything. If you had like a tough day or like a really hard day, would you find that your art would be different than if it was just a lackadaisical Sunday morning with the sun out? Would you find that there would be two different pieces of art that you would do?
Could be. I mean, some people have just have told me, like, in the field of your work, what you're doing, everything. Because what I see, last 18 years, I've seen, everything, the dark side of humanity in a way.
Sure. I'm sure.
Could you and people are like, what if you did that? If you painted, would that, affect your art? And I think I would always say, like, I'm not really into that stuff. I'm not into going to, or like, I don't need to paint anything to kind of express those emotions. I would rather paint something that gives me energy or makes me happy. It's like, if you ever had a bad day or a rough day, you maybe just listen to a song that you like, or watching a movie that gives you more like a happy mode on. So I really don't get that, painting to just, release some demons,
Everything's
Right.
just
Yeah,
red.
that makes
and you're
sense.
just-
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you come
Doesn't
home,
work for
hard
me.
day. Here's some birds chirping in a
Yeah.
tree. Some probably not
No.
exactly that, but
Yeah. I'm just grateful when I get back home, especially from the line of work. I've seen so much. So being just at home, everybody's happy. I can paint. Have
That's
some
fair.
good food. You're pretty. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid feeling. Now, Andy, let me ask, if people wanted to get like linked up with you or commission you for some illustrations, some artwork, or just to see what you've already kind of done, how would they be able to do so?
Well, they can, if they have Instagram, they can go to Andy's Arts and Props. You can find my art there. You can also contact me through that, or you can email me if you want. So doesn't matter.
Awesome.
But Instagram is a good way. Yeah.
And I'll link the Instagram in the description of the video and on Spotify and all that fun stuff.